Okay, you're gonna be monitoring the sound. I'm taking the headphones off because it's all on you now. You're in charge. You're running the show.
Turn it down, brother. Turn it down. Turn it down. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday morning. Playoffs are hot and heavy. My name is Erick, co-host. The big man over there, Mr. Clay, the host.
That's Erick K. James, not just Erick. Erick K. Erick K. James.
The Amazing Grace Sports Network welcomes you to a Monday morning.
And it's sunny. It's actually sunny here in Boston, Massachusetts. There's no palm trees, but I can see some leaves out there on the trees blowing in the wind.
I can reach out and grab a palm tree if you want me to.
Yeah, just wave it at me so I can sniff it, through the modern miracles of, Zoom or whatever we got here, the podcast. I can smell it through the podcast. Listen, everybody, we had a great weekend. There's a lot of games. Not really. There's only 5 games to talk about because we perused them as to what had happened when we talked to you on Thursday. So there's really only 5 games to talk about. And, there's some teams that are no longer here. Let me see. Do we have any of those teams that are no longer here? Or have I erased them already? I pretty much erased them. But let's start off with the Atlanta Hawks. What happened was Boston played ATL on Thursday, and we had a podcast on Thursday day, so we didn't get a chance to cover this game. And Boston won. Now hold on, just hold on for a second. I'm gonna have to go do something. Just stay entertained for the moment.
Boston did his thing with Mr. ATL. Oh man, I don't know.
Okay. Remember this was up here last week. We had the Bruins
and there's a sad face.
Yeah, we had the Bruins and the Celtics. They were like in the playoffs, rolling. The city of Boston, everybody's happy. Bruins, Celtics, 2 winter sports, 2 good teams going, and they're going to go so far in the playoffs. Well, not so much. The Bruins were eliminated. Yep. They had the best season that the hockey world has ever known. Best season that the NHL has ever known. They set records and everything. And they were taken out in the first round. So now we just have the Celtics center stage. And speaking of the Celtics, they went to ATL because they lost that game 5, where Trae Young hits that 35-foot, probably a half-court shot or whatever the case it was. He hit that shot and they won the game. So they had to go to ATL. And they defeated Atlanta 128-120, 128-120. And really, Atlanta played a good game. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Atlanta played a good game. And they were there at the end. Yeah. But at the end, the Celtics, they took it up a couple of levels. And that was that. They had a couple of dunks, a couple of fadeaway shots. Al Horford hit a couple of threes. Marcus Smart started doing some dipsy doodle, whatever the crap he was doing. And it started working. And there wasn't too much to say after that. After that, it was over for Atlanta. Atlanta was done. So let's get to the particulars. John Collins. And Atlanta seems to go as John Collins go. Well, he didn't go too much, but they should have went to him more because his stat line read like this: 29 minutes, 6 for 8, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. They should have gave him the ball more. He had 16 points. Yeah. 6 for 8 field goals, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. He only had 16 points because he only shot the ball 8 times. Meanwhile, DeAndre Hunter, the new guy on the scene, played 39 minutes with 7 for 17 for 20 points. Clint Capella did his best, 28, 5 for 7, 10 points. Trae Young played 40 minutes, was 9 for 28. That's like 29%. That's less than, something like that. 9 for 28. You have to multiply that by 3, less than that. 4 for 12 from the 3-point line and he had 30 points. And DeJounte Murray, who was suspended the game before for intentionally bumping the ref, a game which they won. Maybe they shouldn't have played him this game. He played 38 minutes, was 5 for 13 for 14 points. They got 12 points off the bench from Bogdanovich. A pain in the butt the whole freaking series. And if anybody has half a brain, they'll grab Bogdan up and let him play on a good team because he can come in and do some things for you. That was it for the losers, the Atlanta Hawks. And I say the losers, and that really inflames. I have lots of cousins that live in Georgia. My family's originally from Georgia, both sides, my mother and my father. So I have these families in Georgia that are pretty pissed off when I call Atlanta losers. But they do. They are losers. Football, they were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, and they got beat 34-28 by the Patriots. And when the Celtics play Atlanta, it's at least a 60-40 ratio. They have at least 40% of the fans in the stands are Celtics fans. It's almost like a home game for the Celtics. And my Atlanta cousins, they hate it. They can't stand it. But it's too bad because we just beat the heck out of you every time we play you. It's not even a contest. It shouldn't have gone 6 games. It should have been a sweep. With that being said, let's get to the Celtics. Jason Tatum had a great game. Played 40 minutes, only shot the ball 20 times, was 11 for 20, which is better than 50%. Okay? The only place where he lacked was in the three-point line where he was 4 for 10, which is actually 40% is not bad, but we'd like to see 60 or 70% if you're going to shoot at Jason. But anyway, 30 points. Great game. 14 rebounds total, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's what we're talking about. Then you had Mr. Al Horford, 30 minutes, 4 for 8, 10 points. Marcus Smart, 33 minutes, 6 for 12, for 22 points. Woo! Derek White, there was a Derek White sighting. He was 3 for 9 in 30 minutes for 7 points. And Jaylen Brown, 40 minutes, 13 for 25, 32 points. The bench combined for 27 points, 17 from Malcolm Brogdon. And that was the name of that tune. It was an exciting game. The Celtics came through and punched Atlanta out. And Atlanta, you didn't have to go far because you were already home. All you had to do was just pack your clothes out the locker and get in your cars.
Go home.
Yep, that's all she wrote.
Then we had the Grizzlies. They went on down there to L.A.
Yeah.
Took their last beating from Clay's favorite team.
Your favorite team. The Lakers are your favorite team because LeBron James is like your great uncle or something, right?
I think I'm
older than him, but he looks old. He looks older than you. Just saying.
Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? All right, let's check it out. Jaren Jackson for Memphis Grizzlies, 32 minutes, 3 of 12 shooting for a big 14 points.
That ain't gonna get it done.
Xavier Tillman, 18 minutes, 1 of 4 shooting for a big 2 points.
That ain't gonna get it done.
Dylan Brooks, 26 minutes, 4 of 11 shooting for a big 10 points. Oh my God.
That ain't gonna get it done.
Mr. Ja Morant, the King, 34 minutes, 3 of 16 for a big 10 points.
That ain't gonna get it done.
I don't know. And then Mr. Desmond Bain, 37 minutes, 5 of 16 shooting for a big 15 points.
That ain't going to get it done.
Santi Aldama, 29 minutes, 6 of 10 for 16. He was the high scorer from the bench.
He was the high scorer of the whole freaking team. The guy came off the bench.
The whole team. The bench gave a total of 32 points, and that just wasn't enough.
Disgusting. After all that talk.
Really talking about LeBron and all that stuff, man.
Oh,
even
yeah.
Team. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Sit down, man. Sit down, you young butt. Sit down somewhere. Sit down and learn.
Put some, duct tape around your mouth and don't let them speak because.
And watch the rest of the playoffs to see the guys that really play. They don't do a whole talking. They just do more playing and talking.
Well, they could do that if they stay out the strip joints. Yeah. Then maybe they could see how real teams play.
Yeah, well, what you going?
Well,
Let's look at the Lakers. Mr. Anthony Davis, 28 minutes, 6 of 9, shooting for a big 10 points. Mr. Jarrett Vanderbilt, 15 minutes, 3 of 8 shooting for a big 9 points. LeBron James, 31 minutes, 9 of 13 shooting for a big 22 points.
There he is.
Yeah. Mr. D'Angelo Russell, 30 minutes, 12 of 17, which wasn't bad. For 31 points, he was a plus.
That's pretty darn good. 12 for 17? Sheesh. Yeah. I mean, you want that.
Austin Reeves, 34 minutes, 5 of 12 for a big 11. And their bench was all in single digits, but it was enough to win the game 125-85.
You know, they were all in single digits, but it looks to me like, let me see, how many points did they get? 12, 14, 22, 29 points.
29 points, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they got 29 points on the bench, so they might have been quiet, but they got the job done. Heck, they beat Memphis by 40 points.
Yeah, Memphis need to go sit down somewhere. They got to get their act together.
40 points. 125 to 125. They didn't even score 90 points. Memphis didn't score 90 points. They didn't even score 90. In a basketball game. What, are we to think that LA was playing defense or something? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
Let's get on to the next game, which also happened out in the West. And it was after Phoenix laid waste to the Clippers, so they moved on to play the Denver Nuggets. Now, I was of the opinion that the Denver Nuggets were frauds. That somehow they led the West based upon the West ineptitude at the beginning of the season, whereas nobody was playing very well. That includes the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles, or I'll call them the Lakers, and the Phoenix Suns. All of them were playing terrible at the beginning of the season, up until the All-Star break. And I thought that was the reason why Denver were the Western champ. But maybe I was wrong. Because Denver has been slapping upside the head everybody. They slapped up a pretty good Minnesota Timberwolves team. Yeah, they did. They slapped them up pretty good. And now they just laid a hoops upside the head on the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix went into Denver to play them on Saturday night, and Denver won 125-107. 125-107. They beat them by 18 points. In other words, it wasn't that close. Okay? It wasn't close. Denver led ever since the first half. They led going into the third quarter, and they just increased the lead by 5. That being said, let's get to the particulars on the Phoenix Suns. And I think you're going to be surprised when I go through this, because you're going to say Phoenix didn't do that bad. Kevin Durant played 36 minutes, was 12 for 19, 29 points. Josh Okogie, well, he was the weakest link. 19 minutes, 1 for 3, for 2 points. Josh Okogie, why is he playing? It's a good question. Let's go on to DeAndre Ayton. Played 30 minutes, 7 for 11, 14 points. Chris Paul, 32 minutes, 5 for 11, 11 points. 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. And I think I'm going to point this out. Wait till you hear this. You're going to see the reason why they actually lost. Devin Booker played 40 minutes, was 10 for 19. Very good. 10 for 19, 27 points. The bench combined for 24 points, but here's the big problem. They only shot 23 threes, and they only made 7 of them.
Wow.
They only made 7 threes for the whole game. Not that they shot it a lot. They really didn't shoot the 3 a lot, but gee whiz, you got to shoot a little bit more than that from the 3-point line in today's game if you want to win. And they did not do that. So, the Denver Nuggets, on the other hand, well, they doubled their output. They also shot the ball from the 3-point line more than they did. Let's get to Aaron Gordon, who finally stepped up and played an Aaron Gordon game, of which he's capable of. Listen to this stat line. 39 minutes, 9 for 13 for 23 points. He had a plus 25, but 9 for 13. He's a guy like Rui Hachimura, has all the physical tools. He can jump out the gym, is fast, has handle, can dribble the ball, and can rebound. Whether he plays or not depends on, I don't know what factors, but sometimes when he does, you look at him saying, why isn't this guy scoring 20 points a game every game? Michael Porter, 31 minutes, 5 for 9, 11 points. Nikola Jokic, 33 minutes, 9 for 21, 24 points. Jamal Murray, 13 for 24 in 37 minutes. 6 for 10 from the three-point line. He almost shot as much as the whole Phoenix Sun team. Anyway, he had 34 points. And Kentavious Caldwell Pope, 28 minutes, 3 for 8 for 10 points. Wow, at least he made double figures for once. Thank gosh. I'm starting to wonder about that kid. Now, from the bench, they got 29 points, most notably from Bryce Brown, who gave him 14. They shot 16 for 37 from the three-point line for 42%. Pretty darn good. 42%. And that's the reason why they won. The Denver Nuggets defeated the Phoenix Suns, who I had picked to go through the Denver Nuggets, and defeated them handily by 18 points, easily. The game was not really competitive after the first half.
They'll step it up. They'll step it up.
Was enough.
They'll step it up.
And come on, Chris Paul. What you got? What you got, Chris Paul?
Yeah, I think Durant's going to carry the ball, do his thing. They need some help.
Somebody got to do something on that team because who's supposed to be guarding Jamal Murray? Because they were getting smoked.
Yeah, they got that's the coaches asking that same question. Like, who was
guarding him? Jamal Murray or Bad Knee Jamal?
Oh God.
Bad Knee Jamal shot 13 for 24. That's pretty darn good.
All right, moving on. Let's see. The Heat went down to the Knicks, my sleeper team, and they beat them 108
They beat them
to 101 at home. Knicks, you can't go back to losing at home, man. You can't go back to that. Can't go back to that.
Losing at home is what the Knicks are noted for.
But they did good the last series. We'll see what they're going to do this series. We'll see. All right, Obi Toppin. 31 minutes, 7 of 15 for a big 18 points.
Now, 7 of 15 is like almost 50%. They should have left him in.
Yeah.
They subbed him out for the last 10 minutes of the game.
And that was the wrong move. New
York
got to learn how. Well, they have to learn how to sub, but I'm going to tell you another unique thing. They don't have many to sub with. He was only 3 people on the bench.
You got Derrick Rose sitting right there. Do not, coach's decision, did not play. Evan Fournier, coach's decision, did not play. So I'd say everybody was available except for Julius Randle. He just doesn't play him. When they constrict, and you're going to notice this, when you go through the numbers, you're going to see the Heat expand the roster. The Knicks constrict, and he always did that when he was with Chicago also.
Well, that's the problem right there.
That's the problem right there.
All right, so where we at? We at New York. All right, Mr. Mitchell Robinson, 34 minutes, 3 of 3 for 7 points. Okay, he played 34 minutes. And my man Jalen Brunson gave him 40 minutes, 11 of 23, 0 from 7 for the three-point line. He gave him 25 points.
Not going to get it done, Jalen.
Come on, man. This is big-time game time.
Big time. This is it. All of New York is watching you.
Everybody's watching. Josh Hart, 43 minutes, 5 of 12 for a big 10 points. And then my man R.J. Barrett, 40 minutes, 10 of 20 from the field goal. Then he get 26 points out of it.
Oh, my gosh. R.J. Barrett showed out.
He was a high scorer.
Oh, my gosh.
He got 15 points from the bench, and it just wasn't enough.
Yep, it's not enough when you just get 15 points because Miami Heat's bench gave you 15. Right? And they're always noted for just dogging their starters out, but they expanded their bench.
Yeah. Pat Riley was in the crowd checking it out. D. Wade was in the crowd checking it out. And all eyes on Miami and New York.
Eric Spoelstra right there, and there goes your guy. There goes our guy, the snake oil salesman, Pat Riley.
Yeah,
You got half of that oil on his head. It's all slick back. You always got that slick back look.
Kevin Love gave him 16 minutes for Miami, 3 of 7 shooting for a big 9 points. Mr. Jimmy Butler, the man, rolled his ankle, but he still stayed in there. 8 of 16 for a big 25 points. Bam Adebayo, 37 minutes, 7 of 13 for a big 16 points. Mr. Gabe Vincent, 33 minutes, 6 of 16 for 20 points. And Mr. Man, Max Strus, 23 minutes, 3 of 6 for a big 8 points. Mr. Lowry. Lowry had a pretty good game. 30 minutes, 5 of 12 for 18 points. He was directing and leading that whole game, man.
That's right.
He got 30 points from the bench, and it was enough to get past New York in the first game, second round of the playoffs.
Now, Kyle Lowry sat out the last 2 months of the season. So he's fresh.
He had to rest.
He's fresh. He's fresh, baby. So they expand their bench. They brought him out. They got him coming off the bench. To replace Gabe Vincent? You know he's going to take Gabe Vincent's place in the third quarter and never come out the game. They're going to alternate him. They're going to let him play the second quarter. Gabe's going to go in there for the first half of the, of the third quarter. And when they put in Kyle Lowry, he's going to be there for the rest of the game.
He played a good game, though.
Good game. Despite all your falling down, clutching and grabbing. I still don't like you. I still don't like you. You know what? You play just like this guy, Pat Riley, right? Yeah, and you act just like your coach, a big whiner. Both of them. Kyle Lowry deserves to be in Miami. That's where he should have been the whole time. Chris Paul, too.
They got to pick up Chris, and they have Chris Paul and our boy from Philly. What's his name? What's the guard name? With the beard? Harden. Chris Paul, Harden.
Harden could not play for Pat Riley. Harden could not play for Pat Riley. He'd actually want him to play defense. I may not like Pat Riley, but I guarantee you one thing. His teams are always clawing and scratching. They have heart. Right to the end. You want to go through that lineup again? Except for Jimmy Butler, who you got? Kevin Love? Give me a break. Bam Adebayo, he's pretty darn good. But Gabriel and Matt Strus, so you got 3 players that should not be out there on anybody else's roster. Kevin Love, Gabriel Vincent, and Matt Strus. And he gets the maximum out of each of them for the minutes they play.
Yeah.
That's Pat Riley. I may not like him. Terrible tactics. I don't like the way, but his team will always give you 155% every freaking game.
That's it.
Greg Harden. Harden ain't gonna go for that.
Too much playing. He's like, hold on, wait a minute. I need a break.
He'd be like this. Time out. He ain't got the heart.
He's like, I got to play every time I come down. You want to play defense every time?
You want me to play every time? He'll rub his beard off by the time the season's over because he won't know what to do. No, he ain't used to that. They
leaked out Butler at least 3 or 4 times for the freaking fast break and just an easy bucket every time. So they was getting back before the young boys were getting back.
Yep. It's a play. They like to get some cheap ones, but they leave Butler out. Bam Adebayo is a pretty good defensive guy. So if you throwing it up there, they're going after the rebound. Butler just leaks out. So that's planned. Yeah. So these are the things you have to plan for. And one of the hardest things when the Celtics played the Lakers was that Pat Riley would have his team, Worthy, Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson, Michael Johnson, go over every play the Celtics ran at least 25 times.
Yeah.
He had them that well coached that they knew every aspect of their play. So the Celtics will have to switch up on. But what I'm saying is, this is the type of attention to detail that Pat Riley has instilled into Erick Spoelstra. That's been instilled into the Heat, which always makes them a tough out no matter what happens.
Yeah.
They don't want to see them. I'm glad the Knicks have to play them. I'm hoping the Celtics can get through 76ers in 4 and rest, because if they have to play the Heat, it's still going to be a dog-eat-dog battle no matter what.
It's a dog fight with them boys.
Dog fight. Which brings us to our last game. And really, this game was a good game because it brings up what's going to happen going forward. Golden State they went to Sacramento. Wow. They actually went to Sacramento. Golden State went to Sacramento in the 7th and final game of this series to take on the Sacramento Kings, and they won 120 to 100. 120 to 100. And unlike Mr. Erick K. James, I'm not worried about Golden State winning, because Celtics don't have to play them yet. If it comes down to that, then I'll be worried. You hear that, Mr. Tatum? I got faith in you. What we're saying is this. They are always dangerous. But it is my contention that there is a guy. Do we have the Lakers here? Yeah, we do. Let me see what's on their roster here. Don't they have a guy named Tristan Thompson sitting on the bench?
Yep.
Tristan Thompson has not played a minute for the Lakers since he has joined the Lakers. It is my opinion and my belief that Tristan Thompson is going to get extended minutes as the Lakers play the Golden State Warriors. And do you know why?
He's the bruiser.
Draymond Green is going to get a foot to the chest from Tristan Thompson. Believe me, he ain't going to be throwing them guys around like he was throwing Sacramento around. And he was. And they let him get away with it. There is the case. That's why Tristan Thompson, that's my belief. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just go over what happened. The Sacramento Kings lost. Domantas Sabonis, 10 for 16, very good shooting, but didn't play when he should have played. 22 points. He was a minus 22 out there on the court because, he got punked. These things happen. Harrison Barnes played 14 minutes, was 1 for 4 for 4 points. He was the weakest link and has been the whole season. Then you had Keegan Murray, played 28 minutes, 5 for 10. He also got punked for 10 points. De'Aaron Fox ran out of gas, played 37 minutes, 5 for 19 for 16 points. And Kevin Huerter never showed up. That's right, the resident three-point expert, master, whatever he's supposed to be from the three-point line, never showed up in the whole series, played 28 minutes, 2 for 9, 1 for 6. It wasn't because they were playing tough defense on him. He just couldn't make a shot. The moment was too big for him. 1 for 6 from the three-point line for a good 7 points. They got 41 points from the bench, but that was because Malik Monk gave him 14, and Terrence Davis also gave him 14, 28. Now, some other people chipped in 13 points after that. He gave him 41. Now let's get to the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, 38 minutes, 3 for 7, 1 for 4 from the three-point line, but it didn't really matter. He got 8 points, and with a plus minus 25 while he was out there because he intimidated the whole team. Then you have Kevon Looney. I have to say that right. Kevon, like Kevlon, but Kevon Looney. He's not bulletproof. Might as well be. He plays with the Golden State Warriors, and he looks like crap. But whatever he does, works with the Golden State Warriors. Played 21 minutes, was 4 for 5 for 11 points. Andrew Wiggins was there. 37 minutes, 5 for 16, 17 points. Steph Curry played 38 minutes, was 20 for 38. That's right, he shot the ball 38 times. 38. My arm is getting tired just thinking about that. 38 times. He shot the ball 38 times to get 50 points. Well, they said that was a great game. Klay Thompson played 35 minutes, 4 for 19 for 16 points. They got 18 points from the bench, which is really not that much. But really, the problem was Sacramento could not get it together. No, they could not find themselves. They were 12 for 47 as far as 3 points goes. Shooting 3-point attempts. 12 for 47. 25%. That's not going to get it done. Sorry, that'll do it. That's about all that it needed to happen. 12 for 47. They shot the ball 47 times and only made 12 of those shots.
Yeah, well,
they put that ball inside because they knew Draymond Green was going to clothesline him, and they weren't going to get a call if they retaliated. They were going to get a double foul. Thanks, NBA, for rigging the game, because essentially that's what you did. When you wouldn't call a second technical on Draymond Green, no matter what he did, Sacramento was out of options, weren't they?
All right. What you gonna do? Now we're gonna talk about the Bucks. Let me see if I can get that interview up. Hang on.
Question. Chief, do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's going to win. And this year, somebody else is going to win. Simple as that. We're going to come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. I'm sorry that I didn't want to make it personal, because you asked me the same question last year, and last year I was in the right mind space to answer the question back, but I remember it.
All right. Well, now what's your take? That's Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo responded to a question that if the season was a failure because they did not advance further than the first round or win the championship.
Well, for that team, it wasn't a failure. It was just a bad year. Things didn't work out. He got hurt. All kinds of things happened with them. Actually, for the last 2-3 years, they've been having injuries and just haven't been 100%. If you're talking about Houston or Detroit, they've had some years that's been failures, man, because they're not doing anything to make a change. So if you're building a team, you're steady making moves, like Celtics continue to make moves. So we'll go on a spurt of a couple of years with some good players, and we might drop a little bit and kind of wait a little bit to get some more good draft picks, pick up some more good draft picks. We make another run for it. That's the way it goes. You give and take a little bit, but you can't give and take every year, because every year you're just not gonna be 100% every year.
You're not gonna win it every year. And so every year, part of me says, if you don't make it to the end, it's a failure, but only in the sense that that's what your goal is. Ultimately, when you start off in anything that you want to do, making it to the ultimate position or whatever that is your goal. So you might have failed to get that, but is the season a failure? No, but it does take steps. And the best thing I can allude to is, Milwaukee, all year long, whenever we talked about it, and I said this guy, Grayson Allen, was a weak link. He was not pulling his weight. Something needed to be done. And they needed to have done that at the trade, and they didn't do it. They failed to do that. Was the season a failure? No, but they failed to address the need that was happening right in front of them every game. And so it didn't take them to where they wanted to go. It does take steps. And case in point is, we watched the NFL draft over this weekend, in which Philadelphia, they were like Babe Ruth knocking the ball out the park. They got one big draft pick, another one after another one after. They were nailing it, right? If you don't go for a quarterback in the first round, you go for an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. You have to get your line. And then we saw teams that didn't do this, don't follow that. And then teams that are perennial losers. Teams like the Atlanta Falcons, who drafted a running back with the number 8 pick. And as soon as they did that, Philadelphia moved up so they could get Jalen Carter, the best draft guy of the whole draft. A defensive lineman probably haven't seen since Reggie White. Okay? Guy's that good. Now, why didn't Atlanta pick him? Why didn't the people before pick him? Well, they went after quarterbacks, the majority of them. But you have a team that's a losing franchise and has been a losing franchise most of its existence. And you realize they're a losing franchise because they don't build the blocks. So you do need to take steps. You have to take steps to become a winner. And those steps are very important to becoming successful and a winner. So you have to take steps, and you can't always look at, well, just because you didn't achieve the ultimate position, that the season was a failure.
And just to piggyback off of that is, not only do you got to take the right steps, but you got to have the right person in that position that knows the right steps. A lot of time people are just put into wrong positions and they're just not as good as they should be, or don't have the assets they may need to get to where they need to be at. So,
or draft the assets and don't know what to do with them. Case in point is the GM for Detroit. Detroit drafted Sadiq Bey for Atlanta, showed out. And there's a couple of other places I've mentioned over the time that Detroit has drafted and let go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let these players go. They've gone off and flourished in other places. I think one of them's on the Lakers right now, or Denver. They've gone in different places and flourished. They were drafted by the GM, the current GM, and he traded them away for people like, matter of fact, Golden State has one of their guys. He's a very good guy because they traded James Wiseman, and the Detroit GM gave him this guy. If you guys look at the trade, you'll find out that this guy that's playing for for Golden State right now is doing fairly well. Meanwhile, James Wiseman doing the same thing he was doing when he was with Golden State, not much. As a matter of fact, they didn't even make the playoffs, so it didn't matter. He didn't change any games. He didn't do anything different than he was there. He didn't make any impact. But you have these guys that are drafting people and then don't know what to do with them.
That's it. So it's all positioning, right position, right person.
Right position, right person. You got to have the right people in there knowing what they're doing to get the job done. Howie Roseman is the GM for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he made moves that made all of us who watch football sick. Because unlike Belichick, who backloads it to the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, Howie Roseman was front loading it. He was getting his picks in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. 6 picks in the first 6 rounds. He wasn't wasting any time. He was nailing it.
Hey.
Willing to pay the money to do it and going out and getting blue chippers. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be tough to beat.
Well, key word, willing to pay the money. That's another thing.
It's something Belichick's never willing to do.
Yeah. Nope.
The reason why he always wants to draft 4th, 5th, and 6th, so he doesn't have to pay anybody. He's trying to get them for cheap. And then he underpays even them. Even if you come in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, whatever the regularly scheduled pay is, he's going to try to undercut that. And so he wonders why there's no feeling of gusto on his team. Because you're working against me. You're always trying to screw me. And then you want me to go out and give you 120%.
Yeah.
But the formula's in place. He knows how to build a team, but he can't build camaraderie. Tom Brady held that together for him. And with Tom Brady gone, most of the people there hate him. I mean, I'm sure you play, well with hate, but you rather have other things on your mind than hating your coach.
Yeah, I'm more of a dislike because he does things.
Yeah, a healthy dislike is fine.
Yeah.
But you're spending too much time with the hate thing. If you hate someone, there's too much of you, thinking about this hate thing when you should be studying plays, studying your opponent, and you're still thinking about hate this. Well, there you go. And that's the reason why they were terrible down the stretch. They couldn't get anything together. They have a pretty good team. They have good pieces in place. Matt Jones can't stand them. It's just a mess. And Robert Kraft won't address it. Bill Belichick is the pink elephant in the room. Not only the elephant, but the pink elephant in the room. and Kraft, it behaves as if he's got these glasses on that he can't see this is going on. Malcolm Butler came out last year and said he doesn't know why he didn't play. He actually told the story. It had nothing to do with him. It was Belichick. Belichick was mad that he wanted to leave the team and, get a better contract. He actually sat him down. Didn't let him play in the Super Bowl because he wanted to stick it to him. Now this is out. Now, honestly, Kraft knew all this beforehand and has let this fester all this time. You can't tell me this is not throwing everything out of whack on the Patriots team.
They got a bubble in the tire. It's about to burst.
Yeah. Anyway, it takes steps, Giannis. We're with you on that, and everything's not a failure. You tried as hard as you could. Sometimes there are injuries, things don't go your way. And my thing is that your general manager, and I don't know who he is, did not address holes that were happening in your roster during the season, and thus probably could have done a better job at the end to give you help.
That's it in a nutshell.
It takes steps.
We got to be willing to make the steps. Anyways, you played a good season. We'll see you next year.
See you next year, Zeus. And you are the best player. I don't know if they're going to give it to Joel Embiid. I would give it to you because when you're out there and you're healthy, man, you are the load of the NBA. Forget everybody else. I'd rather have you number one on my team because if I got you started and you're healthy,
So the GM for Milwaukee is John Horst, Horst. John Horst. John, get him some help, John.
John's been asleep at the switch for a little while because his major bring-in or acquisition was Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder? You know what? Giannis, we love you, man. That's all I can say. I mean, you've carried that team for 2 freaking years. I saw what you did with the Celtics last. They had to go to 7 games. I saw that. That ain't Joel Embiid who can do that. That's Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's that guy. But John Horst is resting on his laurels.
All right, we put it back to John Horst. We'll see what you're going to do for next season, buddy.
Well, I guess that does it. It's May 1st, 2023 year of our Lord Jesus Christ. May 1st, 2023 year. It's the 1st of May. Springtime is here in New England, and it's still 50 degrees. Meanwhile, Mr. Erick K. James is vacationing in Naples at the AGSN studio down there. And Mr. James, what's the temperature there?
Oh, man, it's freezing down here. It's 80 degrees and sunny, man. It's freezing.
I think it's 85 degrees.
Yeah. In the 80s. We're just saying.
With palm trees just flowing everywhere in bright sunshine. Look at the smile on this guy's face. You don't see this when if we go back 3 weeks ago and you see his face ain't looking like that.
Stand down, fellas. Stand down. Stand down.
Looking grumpy and like, now look at him. Love him. You gotta love him like this. The guys that he's beautiful. Look at him. Beaming.
Found the right place at the right time, brother.
There you go. There you go. So it's fantastic. Listen, everybody, we enjoyed you. Remember, you are the most important person in sports. You, the sports fan. Think about yourself. as Gianna says, everything in life is not a failure just because you didn't reach it. There's steps to this. And in closing, Mr. James, what would you like to say?
Quitters never win. Quitters never win. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight.
And winners never quit.
There you go.
We will see you. Let me see if we got this thing. You hear anything, Mr. James?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. And we're closing out with that. I don't have anything else to rant about. It's fantastic. The sun came out here. Springtime, 55 degrees. Awesome messages.
All right, please. Y'all have a great couple of days. We'll see you on Thursday.
On Thursday. Remember now, it was NBA Monday, not NBA Tuesday. So don't tune in tomorrow because we won't be here. It actually happened today.
All right.
You can close it out, Mr. James.
Yes, sir.